to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through the industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today, joining us live from Toronto, Canada, is Amanda Kohal, founder and digital strategist of the Wolfe Company, and she provides business owners with access to reputable resources, community connections, and trusted guidance and education to start converting on social. Welcome to the show, Amanda.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to India. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people outside in the US, Canada, France, Germany, and a lot of other places where this show goes on in video and later on in audio and on blog, on Substack and Medium. People will be able to benefit a lot from you. So we will be talking about how we can approach social media in a unique way in these times of AI. So my first question to you, Amanda, itself is that should we look at AI in terms of social media? How are you looking at? Should you look at it as a complementary thing, or something as an adversary? How are you? What is the best way to look at it? How are you looking at it?
I definitely see it as complementary. That's how I've been tinkering around with it in my business. A lot of optimizations for different channels, a little bit of spell check, grammar check, as well as generating ideas that people are already searching for on the internet, kind of thing. So the more and more I use it, I have almost been addressing, because I'm using Chat GPT primarily, the more I'm addressing it like it's a member of my team and an extension of what I do in my business. So I found it quite helpful on the Chat GPT side of things. And then I'm just starting to get into some of the design AI features that Canva has to offer, as well as a video one that I find quite interesting called Munch, which will take long form video clips and automatically clip out the key points for you, transcribe it. So there's a lot less lifting and legwork on your end, and you can spend more time in your business and building your community.
Absolutely. Munch now is a paid platform. Mostly earlier it was for free users. When it was like that, I did test it, and it seems to be good. And I'm sure with the paid version, it's now all paid. It is giving value, and that is why. But I don't know in terms of the use of shorts, ease of use of reels. How much will that will that be there in the long run? What is your thought on this? My sense is that there is a bit of a slowdown in terms of the use of reels or shorts. I may be wrong. That it might be just my perception. What is your understanding of shorts and reels? Because these are where a lot of platforms have come in, like Munch and so many others. I know I'm sometimes amazed by the number of platforms coming in. I really think, where will they get those users? That's why I'm asking this question, and especially for businesses. Sometimes they may just think I should go for the long form content or the shorts and reels, because this might be much more. How do you as a company look at it? And at the same time, do help us know more about your company, Wolfe Company.
Yeah, no problem. So let's talk about the shorts first, and then I can get into a little bit about how I'm using them and how it's really integrated in the way that I approach social media. So I'm a big fan of long form content as well, long form video content, because I find you've got a lot to work with there. And if you can't already tell, once you get me talking for a while, it's hard to get me to stop. So I'm a big fan of the long form. So when it comes to short form, I feel like it's such a great way to give a taste of your company and your knowledge to drive to the longer forms, where people will sit and binge either through audio or through video or through both. I know that I personally love to have the video on in the background, whether I'm watching a podcast on YouTube and I'm kind of walking around the house doing my errands. I'm listening, but every now and then I can go and take a peek at what's going on visually. That's how I prefer to consume content. So I don't think the shorts are necessarily going anywhere. It's just a matter of how are you leveraging them to drive traffic to the bigger pieces of your business, because you can only say so much in 90 seconds, 60 seconds, 3 minutes, whatever it is that the application allows you to record, because they're all different. YouTube Shorts is 60 seconds, Instagram Reels is 90 seconds, and for the most part, TikTok is 3 minutes, up to 3 minutes. I don't think the 10-minute video is on every single account just yet. So with that, how I'm using social media is not so much focused on trend chasing and using every single feature that each platform has to offer, but rather categorizing the platforms into 2 different buckets. So we've got our platforms that are fantastic at reach and visibility and driving traffic through your digital channels across the internet. And then you've got your bucket of platforms that is really good for nurturing and converting that traffic. So the method that I've created and developed is called the InstaSite, a new approach to social media. And it really goes off of those 2 buckets. So on the Instagram side of things, which is where the InstaSite name comes from, we're treating our Instagram page actually like a website. We're physically mimicking the type of content that you typically find on a website. It's just a little bit more elevated, it's a lot more interactive, and you have the ability to immediately connect with your audience via DMs or in the comments, right? As opposed to waiting a 24-hour period. And the reason for this, it came to me in 2 different ways. Or 3 different ways. One, I have been doing a version of this strategy since about 2021. The second was my clients and community members and fellow business owners were so tired of keeping up with the Instagram trends, just Instagram alone. Forget YouTube, forget TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn. They were so hung up on keeping up with Instagram, they burnt out, and then their business suffers. And then the third was that I think it's now over 40% of people are doing their initial search of a brand, business, or topic via social media. And one of those platforms, right? One of those platforms is Instagram. So why would we not create that searchable experience on your Instagram page and across your socials? Because the more familiar a user experience is, the easier it is for people to use and the easier it is for them to consume content. So the InstaSite mimics that experience of a website that's already familiar to people. You've got your case studies about the company, about the team. You've got some reviews on there, high value content, a list of services and offers. It quite literally is website, but on Instagram, aka the InstaSite. Now, how we're driving traffic to that InstaSite and really building visibility for our brands is we're using a platform that is in category or bucket A that I mentioned that are really good at getting visibility. So the one that I usually recommend is TikTok, because as you know, TikTok has one of the most advanced algorithms I've ever seen in terms of not only getting you mass reach, but getting you in front of a mass niche audience and people who are really interested in whatever it is that you're talking about, whether that's entertaining content, inspirational, or educational. So paired with Instagram, you have got this, really advanced strategy and engine running because you're covering all of your bases: reach and growth, connecting in community, and converting. So you've got it all covered with just 2 platforms. And for those that are just starting on social, I recommend just start with 2 platforms. Whatever they might be, pick one from bucket A and one from bucket B. Bucket B should maybe be Instagram, because it's still very popular. It's still very good for taking a look at, a specific niche, brand, or business, and it's a fantastic place to connect with your community. And as you get more comfortable posting on these spaces, creating for TikTok, engaging with people over on Instagram, then layer on other channels, then bring in a YouTube space, then maybe explore a LinkedIn or a Facebook group, Twitter, if you will, but only once you have the capacity to keep up with the posting cadence that you have kind of set the tone for across your channels.
Right, Amanda. You have actually put out something very, very new, and especially, the thing that treat Instagram like a website. Help us understand that part a bit better. And second thing is that in website and a platform like Instagram, uh, in a website you own everything, even your all the followers, whatever you can generate, or email list or whatever, but not on a platform like Instagram. But if we can use it like a website, nothing like it, that's the best thing. Then even I'm curious to know, so help us understand that part a bit better. I know you have explained it, but just for much further simplification for the audience.
Yes, let's go deeper into the Instagram piece of the strategy, because it really is the core. It is the foundation. You build your Insta site first, which is a static grid. So it typically, and like the legacy version of the Insta site, is 15 posts, static posts on your homepage, including a footer. And the footer, again, is just kind of a callback to the website footer that includes maybe your copyright information, a website URL, your company tagline, logo, all of that kind of stuff. It just really sets up the Insta site grid in an aesthetically pleasing way. All of the posts on the static grid serve a different purpose to either grow, connect, or convert. There is one goal, one of those 3 per post. Each post is very strategic in placement, even though there's only going to be about 15 on your Insta site grid. They're strategically placed as to where the eye goes first when you land on somebody's profile, with the most important information at the top, and then kind of the least important moving to the bottom. Still important, but not something that you want to post as the first thing that shows up on your grid. So you're really setting up this static grid first and foremost. You're optimizing your bios. So not just your Instagram bio, but whatever other social media platforms you're using, as well as your Instagram highlights. And when it comes to the highlights, those are essentially the menu, the sandwich bar that you see on your website. But the beautiful thing about those is that they're interactive, because highlights are saved stories. And in stories, you have the option to add engagement stickers like polls, questions, boxes, quizzes, whatever it might be, emoji taps, sliders. As well, you can add direct links to bring people onto your email list and get them off of the social media platforms, to drive them to your actual website, to bring them into your communities in WhatsApp or Voxer or Discord, whatever it might be. So you're setting up this static grid. And then in the Instagram space, if you want to continue posting to not only appease the algorithm and show that, hey, Instagram, I'm still active, don't stop showing my content to people, I'm still here, but also to give your community fresh content. So after the original ooh-ah of the Insta site going up, there's still something new. You're really playing in 2 different spaces. One is what I call the featured posts, which is the pinned posts that go on top of the static grid. And again, they're pinned there there, as well as your Instagram stories. And the Instagram stories, in my opinion and from my experience, have been the most fruitful for my business and are the most powerful in terms of building a community that actually converts. And when I speak about conversion, I don't just mean monetary. Of course, that's important in business, but I'm also speaking about people becoming subscribers of your other channels, people now becoming subscribers of your email list, your YouTube page, now following you on TikTok or Twitter or LinkedIn, whatever it is. And over on your stories, you're usually posting every single day. Weekends are optional, although the viewership on weekends is much higher, and conversion on weekends, surprisingly, is very high. There's something about on a Sunday, you're prepping for the week ahead. You want to buy that organization system because it's just going to put you in a good place for the week moving forward and the weeks moving forward. So if you're going to be posting any links to your products or services, post them on a Sunday. Your conversion will be much higher. So you're posting daily on your stories to not only connect with your audience, but of course to appease the algorithm and show I'm still active. Do not stop showing my content to people. I'm just showing up here in a different space. So I don't need to stress out about creating for the feed anymore. The feed content is done. And the Insta site, because of the way the content and the call to actions are set up, you are essentially creating content that can last you for up to 18 months or more, which is huge. Imagine not having to post to your Instagram feed for 18 months. What would you do with that time? You would be like, spending more time with your family, your friends, maybe taking up a new hobby. Or on the business side, you actually have the creative space and the capacity now to create and test things out and do more, build your community and relationships, as opposed to, I need to post to Instagram because some guru in 2017 told me that was the only way to grow on the platform. But that guru didn't tell you that you can't grow your business that way. So let's go back to the featured posts, the pin posts, because these are quite valuable. One of the reasons why I love them so much is not only is it a way to offer fresh content, and I recommend that you at least swap out these pin posts once a quarter. So you don't have to do them, but then you go from posting every single day or multiple times a week to 4 times a year, which again, super easy, super laid back, low lift for you, but on an as needed basis. So not only is it providing fresh content, but there's an opportunity there, especially if you are wanting to get in the influencer space or collaborating with other businesses, to use those pin posts as advertising space and an extra line item in your media kit for brands. So now you can position it as, okay, we can run this campaign. You will get the 3 pinned posts at the top for a 2-week at X price, or whatever the cadence is and whatever the price it is that you want to charge. So now you've just opened up another revenue stream for your business, collaborating with brands, and then now having the opportunity to be featured at the top of your account, where you hold influence and impact with your audience, which is quite interesting. And for those of you listening being like, well, what about Reels, Amanda? I thought Reels were supposed to get you that new eyes and that new visibility. How I'm utilizing Reels is I actually only create in one space now. And for me, my primary platform is TikTok. I usually create up to 3-minute videos. So it's still short form, but for TikTok, it's longer format, that 3 minutes. I transcribe all of those TikTok videos that are relevant, not anything trending, but more so the tutorial stuff. I download them without the watermark, and I will repost them as I see fit over onto my Instagram. I will leave that reel on my profile, on my Insta site for up to 72 hours, so that Instagram not only circulates it to people who are following me, but of course also to people who aren't following me. By the way, spoiler alert, it's a very small percentage. So this is why I do not recommend making Instagram your primary content creation space. You're going to get very, very little ROI than if you create for a space that is built for creators, that is built to get you that reach and those new eyes, like TikTok or YouTube. Both are fantastic for that. And the shelf life of those posts is months, if not years, as opposed to Instagram, where I swear, and maybe this is a joke, maybe not, it's like 2 hours your post circulates on Instagram now. That's not factual, but that's just how it feels. You get very little bang for your buck. So I keep the reels on my feed for 72 hours, and then I hit the 3 dots in the top right corner, and I toggle them off the feed, and they live in the Reels tab now forever. So now this is an extra resource that I can redirect to for those that are following me on Instagram, but not over on TikTok. So now I'm giving people the opportunity to consume my content on a platform that they prefer to consume it on, or in some cases that they only have access to, because TikTok still isn't available in India, right?
Right, right. It's not, it's banned since 2020, if I remember, June, July, around that time. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
You are one of the very, very few guests who knows about that TikTok is not available in India for us, banned by the government of India because of several reasons.
yeah. I really hope that you guys could get it, because it's one of the social media platforms, when I open it, I don't feel that pang of anxiety like I do when I open Instagram. There's a lot of joyful content, but at the same time, and this is something that if you're in the social media space, or your boss says, well, our clients and customers aren't on TikTok, you're still getting exposed to TikToks, because TikToks get shared to Instagram Reels, over to YouTube Shorts, maybe even YouTube videos as a whole, over on Facebook feeds. So your audience and your clients and your consumers are still getting indirect exposure to TikTok, which is quite interesting. So that's kind of the strategy. I use a platform like TikTok or YouTube or LinkedIn, depending on what's available to you, to get that brand visibility and reach and drive traffic over to not only my Insta site, but any other social media channel that I'm using, and vice versa. They really, really work well together. And again, as I said earlier, you're taking kind of a holistic approach to your social media strategy. You're covering all of your bases by creating content that is growing your account and your business, building community, and most importantly in your business, converting, which a lot of gurus just don't tell you. They're only telling you, here's how you get 10,000 followers on Instagram. I don't care about 10,000 followers on Instagram. I care about how many of those 10 followers are converting, not only as community members, but also in a monetary fashion.
Is there a particular trick for that to get the not just followers but conversion? And that is what matters. That's what businesses are there for. And second thing, at the same time, how should businesses look at threads and Twitter now? Twitter has gone further. Twitter is gone now. It's X. How do you look at, should we waste time on Twitter at all? Or even on threads? It started with a bang, 100 million followers. And then that whole following has gone down, in that sense that the usage of daily usage has tremendously gone down. What I read last is, so how do we look at threads and Twitter? Threads is obviously Meta platform, Instagram part of that, and Twitter, X is, I don't know. It actually means, we use EX. I don't know. It has almost become like that. How do we see that?
That's interesting that Twitter is changing their brand name. I need to know more about that. I don't use Twitter personally. It's not my preferred communication style. I love video. I love audio. I like to talk through my thoughts writing, it takes me more time. So if I'm going to be writing something, I usually do voice to text, which is actually how a lot of my threads are created. When it comes to threads, I just don't know. I almost, my gut is telling me that it's going to be a flash in the pan, and we're already seeing the downward slope. There was a hike for about a week, but I don't even think Instagram had a plan of how are we going to sustain and continue to build this platform. It was just in response to, all of the turbulation that was happening over at Twitter. It wasn't actually, I think, thought about in a big picture kind of way, like most of their platforms. So I'm reading a book right now about Instagram. It's called No Filter: How Instagram Has Influenced Business, Culture, and Celebrity. And we're at the point where Instagram has been bought by Facebook. They haven't created Instagram stories yet. You don't even have the ability to share people's posts yet. But they actually started by trying to copy Snapchat's immediately disappearing photos, because that's how Snapchat started. You would send photos and they'd disappear after you viewed them once, right? And then Snapchat introduced stories. So Instagram released this feature. I think it was called like Pick Snap or something like that, stealing a little bit of Snapchat's name, and it flopped immediately. And I'm already seeing the same pattern now happening with Threads, their version of Twitter. It was, again, their reason for creating this Pick Snap tool that copied Snapchat was Zuckerberg's response to Snapchat turning down an offer of, I think it was $3 billion to buy them out. Snapchat said, no way. So Zuckerberg was like, well, we're just going to create what you have and we'll destroy you because we have the resources and the money to do so. But quickly, I don't think he realized, but the teams realized they could never replicate what Snapchat did, because Snapchat in its own entity was special and had really built community around it. They weren't driven by data metrics and algorithms like Facebook was. Facebook is very surface level when you think about it, not about building relationships. It's just about being the best, making money, go, 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 do things fast, break them, whatever that motto was that Zuckerberg had. Whereas places like Snapchat and Instagram, before they joined forces, even still Instagram for a while when they were a part of Facebook, was about building something more special and more niche, that was powered by communities, not algorithms. And this is a really important note that I want to make is just that. Facebook driven by algorithms, not people. So a lot of Facebook's growth, as we found out, was putting money in celebrities' pockets and public figures' pockets to talk about the business. It was not happening organically. Instagram's growth was happening organically at the beginning, which is what made it so special. Now we can really see, with more and more users jumping over to YouTube or TikTok or other platforms, the influence that Facebook has had on the Instagram algorithm. It has become a lot more forced, telling us what we want instead of us telling the app how it should change and evolve, which is what TikTok does. TikTok is really looking at the patterns of the users, how people are engaging in the comments, which is its own type of content on its own, and creating new features and optimizing the platform based on the user's needs, not their own needs. And this is why I do believe that ultimately, I mean, my phone is probably listening to me, so please don't ban me from using Meta. Ultimately, I think it's going to be the downfall of Meta, because they continue to refuse to listen to the users and creators, but they present like they're here to do something good for creators. Maybe that sounds a little conspiracy theorist of me, but it feels like that.
No, I understand there are a lot of people, even I'm sure they also know it. And the truth is, they know what they want out of that. And creators and businesses, they also know what they want out of that. And as if they have the choice, they will make that choice. As of now, these platforms are coming in, and that is why there is a lot of talk of owning your audience, owning the platform. And that is why people are creating newsletters, communities, and even you're boosting your own website. And these things are going. Coming down to the SEO part, how are you looking at the SEO? Just say 6 months or 1 year back, almost everywhere it was like learn SEO, learn SEO, learn SEO, or you will not be able to succeed. And then ChatGPT came and things became very easy. And even though people are not looking at SEO that way, that whole conversation seems to have died down. That okay, and all algorithms are suddenly changing a lot. How should businesses or are you looking at the SEO part when you are doing? See, for hashtags, like even Instagram earlier on, you were having 30 hashtags. Now, almost everybody is saying use only one couple of things. They are not. YouTube, the same thing. Tags, 500 characters for tag, but they don't. It does not help. They themselves say it's not helping. So you use only whatever you think only to define exactly what sort of a content. How should we look at hashtags, and how are you looking at hashtags for your clients? A quick answer.
Yeah, the way that I simplify it is adding relevance to your hashtags, but more importantly, adding relevance in your keywords that you're using on your title cards of your videos and in the descriptions. And when I say relevance, I mean things like adding the year, adding a season, or adding an audience or specific niche. So an example of this would be if this was my podcast and my show, I might title it 2023 social media strategy. So if you look at YouTube or you look at TikTok, if I go and I search in that term, which is a very popular term search, even just social media strategy is very high up in search, and I come across two videos, one that says social media strategy and one that says 2023 social media strategy, which one am I going to click on? The one that is relevant to me right now. Same thing for seasons. So if you are a brand, you might say 25 holiday gift ideas. And if you wanted to go an extra step further, you would say 25 2023 holiday gift ideas. So this automatically ranks you higher, not only for the user who is consuming the content, but the algorithm. You're making it so easy for the algorithm to place your content and know exactly what it is that you're talking about. I mean, if your title cards and your keywords match the conversations and the text that you're having. But this is actually how I went from getting 200 to 500 views on a TikTok to going mega viral with my InstaSite strategy by adding the year. And for a while, because I did this back last year in 2022, for a while, that 2022 content was still circulating over on TikTok. I had the videos pinned to the top of my page, but we were in May of 2023. Those videos were still circulating. The content was still relevant. People were still finding it relevant. So TikTok is still pushing. So these platforms are fantastic. YouTube as well, for a shelf life of content. Think about that longevity. Where can I take this original piece of content, add relevance to it, update and optimize it to continue to circulate it and not always feel like I need to create something new. Go shopping in your own closet. Take a look at what's already there.
Absolutely. There is so much to know about social media, even learn about social media, and you have spoken and given us insights is so much into, especially on Instagram and other platforms. So, but for more, they will have to come to you. This is just one podcast. So, how do people connect with you? How do they know more about you? And also, how do they, connect with you for professional deals with you? How do they do that? What's the best way to do that?
Everything can be found on my Instagram page at the Wolfe with an E.co. From there, you can go to my TikTok if it's available to you, my YouTube, my LinkedIn, as well as get in touch with me directly via email or connect to work with me if you want to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Connect with Amanda Kohal if you want to connect with your audience and convert them into clients. That's all I can say. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.